What's going on, guys? JSkeleton with Brand of Guys today, coming at you with a little bit of a Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombies theory. We're not going to go into the new characters just yet. We'll cover that in a different video because that's a whole other animal in and of itself. But I want to talk about the Blood of the Dead map that's going to be coming to Black Ops 4 Zombies, because there's something very, very interesting. First of all, one of the things that I was theorizing myself and a lot of people were is that the blood vials at first in the trailer looked empty, but that was explained to some of the other Zombies YouTubers by Craig Houston and Jason Blundell. They are the creative leads for Zombies at Treyarch. It was explained that it was just kind of like an in-engine thing where, Mr. Rafa Waffles explained it best, where it's something how, the meshes for each object, basically the blood and then the blood vial, sometimes they render in an odd way where it makes the blood look clear, but the blood is there, and everyone could tell at least that there was some kind of liquid in there, but it just looked like a clear liquid, so most people thought maybe it's just empty vials. But no, it was confirmed. Jason Blundell did go on record saying that for sure there is blood in there, and again, he confirmed that to Mr. Rafa Waffles. So that is definitely a thing. So the blood is there. They have their blood vials, or at least Richtofen does, but we can't see the blood vials for Nikolai, Dempsey, and Takio. The way they're positioned, we can't really see them. Although the way Nikolai is positioned, we should technically be able to see where his blood vials are. They should be hanging out, right from under his kind of pouches on his bag on his left side, just a little bit. But they're not, so we have no idea if they actually are there or not, or if it's just Richtofen that has his. That kind of eliminates the theory, in my opinion, that it takes place after Revelations. My original theory, and a lot of people's original theory, was that Blood of the Dead takes place after Revelations. In that they use the blood vials maybe to escape the Great War era, which was where they were sent back to at the end of Revelations, or simply that maybe Dr. Monty ended up sending them to Mob of the Dead in a continuous cycle that cannot be broken. But that I do think that theory is eliminated now that we know for sure 100% confirmation that there is blood in the vials. On the official timeline that was revealed by Treyarch, by Jason Blundell, post Black Ops 3 DLC season, after DLC 4, I believe it's when they announced Zombies Chronicles, if I recall correctly. There's a quote on that timeline that reads the following: Richtofen returns to the lab under Alcatraz, where he meets Victis. For those guys who don't know, Victis is the transit crew, arriving from the empty Earth with a chronorium. Upon reading the chronorium, Richtofen discovers numerous timelines documenting their fates and learns about the blood vials. He would later write on the page, "I know what I must do." Richtofen enters a rift to acquire the blood of Sal and Finn. After delivering the blood to his younger self and recovering the blood vials belonging to Victis, he returns. Victis is then placed on ice to be kept safe until they are needed next. Now that is very, very interesting information, my friends. So first of all, we do know that there are parts of Mob of the Dead that was developed for the original map, not Blood of the Dead, but Mob of the Dead, that was developed, but they ended up not putting into the map, that a lot of people really, really want to see, a lot of the Zombies community really wants to see, hopefully in Blood of the Dead, myself included. And so one of those areas that they had originally created was the underground lab. So one of my theories, first of all, is that maybe will we possibly see the Victis crew that are on ice in this part of the timeline, in this reality dimension, whatever you want to call it? Will we see the Victis crew in those cryo chambers in the underground lab in Blood of the Dead? Will they actually have those other areas opened up in this version of Mob of the Dead, being Blood of the Dead, in Black Ops 4? I definitely think there's going to be some extra areas. I think the areas that they originally created, like the underground lab, is definitely going to be in Blood of the Dead. And maybe it's going to play a huge part moving forward into this timeline, because another thing that Jason Blundell did confirm is that going forward through the DLC season is that there's going to be two storylines are going to be following: the new characters and then the Premise crew characters, assumingly at least. So, if they're going to be following the Premise crew storyline, what if that kind of, ties in more with the Victis crew? Maybe we'll actually have another map with the Victis crew. Maybe they will be needed in this storyline at some point, because again, they're on ice to be kept safe until they are needed next, whatever that means. So will we see them again? Are we going to at least see those cryo chambers in some way or another? I definitely think there's a high possibility to that. But all this kind of boils down to the big question: where on earth does Blood of the Dead take place in the timeline? I think it's very, very likely that it takes place at the very end of Zetsubo no Shima, when the characters, the Presonus characters at the end of the Easter egg, they disappeared for a very short time, and then they returned. And all of a sudden, Nikolai, Dempsey, and Takio had blood vials themselves. So again, that would be putting Blood of the Dead right between Zetsubo no Shima and Gorod Krovi. Now, you might be saying, well, they weren't gone for very long, so how on earth is that going to happen? One thing that Craig Houston of Treyarch stresses, again, he's one of the creative leads on zombies at Treyarch. One of the things he keeps stressing is one of Dr. Monty's quote. Now, this is what Dr. Monty had to say: "The order in which you experience events is not necessarily the order in which they happen." I'll say that one more time. The order in which you experience events is not necessarily the order in which they happen. So again, you know, that would mean that, you know, there could be years, literally years upon years, or weeks or months or days, like any kind of time period that took place between the end of Zetsubo no Shima Easter egg and then when they actually returned from getting those extra blood vials. Any kind of period of time could have happened there. It could have been minutes, could have been hours, could have been weeks, it could have been months, you know, years, decades. So, you know, that kind of opens the door for a lot of story to kind of take place in between those two maps, which is really crazy to think about. But I definitely think as of this point, as of, you know, the evidence and the information we have so far, I definitely think that Blood of the Dead is going to take place at the end of Zetsubo no Shima when the characters disappeared and did go to Alcatraz. Now, again, a huge question I have is, are we going to see the Victis crew at all? Are we going to see them in those cryo chambers? Are we going to, you know, see them come out of those cryo chambers at some point in this storyline, this you know, Black Ops 4 DLC season? That would be pretty amazing to see, you know, kind of like that interaction between a Presonus crew and a Victis crew, and a little bit more, you know, depth and kind of you know, story behind all of that. But that's a little bit of a theory for today, my friends. I just wanted to make this video and kind of you know, bounce those ideas and thoughts off of you guys. But one thing's for sure, I'm really stoked to dive deep into Black Ops 4 Zombies when it launches this October, and hopefully you guys are excited too. If you guys are, make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe, the comment, share, and all that awesome stuff. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss a new upload. And if you guys have any other zombies theories of yourselves, you know, let me know in the comments section below what you guys are kind of theorizing and coming up with yourselves. I'd be very interested to hear your stories. I'll catch you guys in the next one, like always. Until then, game on.